Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Media Mania Podcast. As always, I'm your host, the Media Maverick Mike Weldon. And tonight I'm joined by the one and the only, the last Saiyan of professional wrestling, Mike Harvey. Mr. Harvey, welcome to the show.
What's going on? You already know this is Mike Harvey, the last saying of professional wrestling, and also now known as my name is Mike Harvey, and I'm here for you.
so, my first question, just right off the gate, how did you first get into wrestling? Did you grow up watching it? And what era of wrestling did you grow up watching that got you into wrestling?
Well, the way I was introduced into wrestling was because of my father. My father was a WCW fan, so it goes back all the way to that era of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
So
NWO, DX.
you know how it goes. So my father was like a Hogan fan, and he was a big fan of Sting, Goldberg, guys like that. So it pretty much rubbed off for me, if you can say. Um, I started within the Brock Lesnar era of when Brock was on SmackDown. He was dominating SmackDown, and
Right.
then my era was Kurt Angle, guys like John Cena, JBL.
Eddie Guerrero.
Remember Funaki to Jerry, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Oh yeah,
that.
one of the best times. Yeah.
Mhm.
So when did you first make your debut in pro wrestling on the indie scene, and what was your training like with your trainer when you where you got trained at?
I made my debut back in 2019. That was like my
Okay.
official debut, but I was training since 2014 in a way. So,
Okay.
and I was back out there in Staten Island training. And, my guy, Isaiah Wolf, I trained under that guy. And he's a real good trainer, underrated, very underrated, I can say. And he taught me a lot, especially with discipline and patience. And just be ready for anything, and just
Mhm.
be ready to go at it with anybody. It doesn't matter who it is, just be ready to go. Be ready at all times. That was his motto. So it
Yeah.
prepared me to be the way I am now. You know.
So, what all promotions have you worked at? I know you're based out of the New East Coast, like New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey area.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Well, I was asking like how many promotions, like what promotions have you worked for? Because I know you're based out of the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area.
I mostly worked for Warriors of Wrestling, IWA out in New Jersey, Titan Championship Wrestling,
Yep.
Fatal Wrestling Federation out in the Bronx, Bronx Wrestling Federation when it used to be in the Bronx. Uh, I appeared in a couple places. Mount
I know
Valley Wrestling,
you've
it's
also
a couple
appeared for
places.
World Wrestling Extreme too. Have you not?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of sitting there with multiple people from that have gone through that promotion, like Hyena, uh, Mr. Ace, the Only God, and a couple others I've gotten the pleasure to sit down with.
Those guys are good competitors. I would say they got a bright future ahead of them. I appeared on WWX, but I didn't never wrestled for them, so you could say that. Made a
Hmm.
cameo appearance, if you could say.
Hey, that's what happens in wrestling. So, like,
Yeah.
you're you go by the last Saiyan. Were you inspired like by anime? Of course, the last Saiyan, of course, I know is based off Dragon Ball Z, but were you inspired by other animes or comics or other pop culture when developing your persona?
Well, mostly I was inspired by Dragon Ball Z, but if I could take other animes in consideration, I would say Fist of the North Star. That's a classic one right there.
Okay.
Um, would say Bleach. You know,
Hmm.
not a bad anime. It's a classic Adult Swim anime there. Uh, I watch a couple other ones like Naruto, Death Note, and stuff. But I would say Dragon Ball Z is like my main inspiration. It's mostly Goku as the main character. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd never
I noticed
seen.
that. Yeah,
Mm,
I I said I've noticed that like your main is like I see a lot of your stuff is based off of Goku.
Yeah. I haven't seen too many people who have done Goku in independent wrestling. I seen them do the character of costumes, cosplay of
Hmm.
characters, but never seen somebody actually play the character of Goku. You know,
Yeah,
it's different.
I've seen people do like Vegeta, Frieza, and others, but never. I haven't seen many people try to do Goku.
You don't see that too much.
No. So, are there any dream promotions or opponents you'd love to work with?
Hmm. There's actually a lot of promotions I would like to work with. Arrival Wrestling, I believe it's called. It used to be called VXS, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not
Oh
sure
wow.
it's the same thing. Gremlin Wrestling, I hear about a lot. Um, I like to go to Booker T's area.
Oh
Check
yeah,
out his place.
bro. Yeah, bro.
Check out what's another place? New Japan Strong. I
Oh
like to
yeah.
test my limits there to see if I can actually hang with those guys.
They were just done. They were just in New Jersey, were they not?
Yes, they was. Unfortunately, couldn't make it because some wrestlers got shoot jobs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, most definitely. So, and
Yeah.
I was asking because I know in April next month, WWX is supposed to bring in TNA star Moose, and I was just wondering, would that be one of the like you gonna be at that show or in that area? Like, because I
Hmm.
know Moose would be a dream. Like that would probably be a dream opponent for someone like you, like because he's a big star in TNA.
Yes, he is. He puts in a lot of work, and that's a big name. Um, he brings a lot of attention to their company, so it's
Mm-hmm.
actually good for them. It's good exposure. Can
He's
hopefully it
always
works out.
exposure.
Hopefully everything works out. Don't wish bad on any company. Just you know.
Mm-hmm. So, being on the indie scene, how important is connecting with the audience to you, like with the fans and all that?
Oh, it's very important. It's They pay their money for the show. I gotta include the audience. They're the most important thing in the show. Yeah, we put on the performance, but at the end of the day, it's about the fans. It's what they want.
Yeah.
Sometimes fans could be it can be hard for wrestlers and fans to connect, but once you have that connection, it's hard to you can't lose it unless it happens. And
Mm-hmm.
the best you can do in that situation with connection with the crowd is just show them who you are and be vulnerable to them. Don't be scared to embarrass yourself sometimes. You know.
So, yeah, as you know, we live in the digital age now where you have access to social media at the click of a button on your phone. Like,
Hmm.
do you think social media plays a bigger role now in promoting wrestling than it did 15 years ago?
Social media actually helps with exposure, a lot of exposure, and it actually could help with character development if you use it correctly.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does.
But
So,
yeah, social media is actually a big part in a way. It's
yeah.
just depending on how you use it.
So, going back to your anime and your how you interpret anime into your wrestling, do you do you ever blend elements of anime or pop culture into your live performances, like your moves or your gears?
I incorporated the Goku gear. It was orange and white. I've had mixed reactions with it because there was this thing where the guy was supposed to cut the shorts to make it look like the shorts been through war and stuff, like how Goku fights and his pants rips and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was originally supposed to be that idea, but then the guy added the white design on it to make I don't know what happened there, so I just kept it. But as for moves, the insecurity that I do, the spinning insecurity, that's
Hmm.
originally I take homage from Goku with that because Goku could fly and all that. So
Yeah.
I was like, how can I make it seem like I could connect with anime and then mix wrestling within? Oh, okay, insecurity makes sense.
Yeah.
Good.
So, so You were talking about your gear, the guy that makes your gear. Do you have one person that makes all your gear for you, or do you go like to different people for certain things for your gears?
Um, Usually I go to more than one gear maker. So
Okay.
I would say there's two guys I go. I well now it's one guy because the other guy unfortunately passed away. His name is Jeff Greeno. He's very known in the wrestling world. May he rest in peace. He made the Dragon Ball Z gear for me. Um, the second guy, he made the singlet that I wear now.
Yeah.
Um, so I would say it's a good collaboration in a way. If I could get the second guy to make the Dragon Ball Z gear the way I originally wanted it, then I think it
Hmm.
will come out. You know, it will come out really dope.
So, what is some things fans don't know that go into a wrestler making their living? Like, because wrestlers, as you know, they spend a lot of money on their gear, or if they have to travel, they have to pay for their own hotel. Like, what do fans not see of that they might not know that much about?
It's mostly the journey, the waking up early, going to train, then going to work, then buying gear and paying bills, then going back, doing it all over every day. After a while, mentally wise, you get exhausted, you get tired, you get very sleepy. There's days gone by where I would wake up on a Sunday and then it'll be on a. I'll wake up and it'll be Friday.
Yeah. So,
So,
what is the typical day, like when it's the day of a show? What is a day for you like when it's the day of a show? Like, what do you do before the show, and what do you do when you're at the show, like before your match, and what do you do after the show? Like, do you go to eat? Do you go home? Do you interact with the fans for a little bit after the show? Try to sell some merch.
well, before every show, I will wake up, take a shower, brush my teeth, go hit the gym, go hit the wrestling ring for a little while, get some reps in, some training, hit the ropes, rolls. Then after a while, go get something small to eat, nothing big, because I don't want to mess up my stomach
Yeah,
before the show, and then you throw up in front of it. Nah, you don't want. Just go get some eat, get some food, and then go to the wrestling shows. Listen to some music, zone out a little bit. Sometimes I talk to guys in the locker room, pass some time,
yeah.
uh, work out a little bit more, get some pumping before matches, then do my match. After the match, get dressed. Sometimes I go straight home. Sometimes I go out to eat. So depending on how I feel that day,
Yeah.
it's just keep. I like to keep my days very simple.
So, what is the furthest you drove for a match so far in your career? Like, has it been an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or like maybe some like 10 hours?
The furthest I drove to a show was 3 hours. Well, 2 hours really. It was a Titan Championship Wrestling show. I went all the way to New Jersey, towards the end of the other side of New Jersey.
Yeah,
So this is coming from Queens at that. So
yeah.
that's a deep travel.
So I know each wrestler has their own way they put their what's the word I'm looking for? How they set their price for their appearances for shows. Like, do you how much of that goes into you figuring your price for a show that you would go work it?
I'll go based on travel. I go tolls, how much tolls come out to. I just try to keep myself afloat. And if anything, just depending on if I got a good working relationship with the promoters too, because a lot of promoters will not try to pay you. So
Yeah,
you just
because
gotta.
especially in New York and New Jersey, like you were saying, there's a lot of tolls that you have to go through. You have to pay the tolls for so many places.
hmm It's a lot of tolls. So last time I went to a Titan show, I think a toll came out to a total of $67. So
Wow.
there's my booking right there.
Yeah, then you got to figure gas and all that in too.
Gas, that's extra what, $20, maybe 40, depending.
So, how much do you usually charge to appear? Is it like what is the typical rate for you for Mike Harvey?
Hmm. Usually I charge $100 per per match. I feel like it's a fair deal.
Okay.
It's a good balance. So we not taking too much out of the promoters' hands.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll work with promoters if I need to. If it's depending on who's the person.
So I'm pretty sure you have, and if not, I'm sorry. Don't take any offense to this. If you don't have a story, I'm gonna call you crazy. Have you had like a horror story since being in professional? Like, have you had to deal with like a shady promoter or just a shady promotion altogether, like a shady locker room? You don't have to name any names. You do not have to name names. I'm not gonna ask you to do that.
I understand. I mean, I could sit here and tell you stories all day, but I rather with those promotions, I like to put water under the bridge with them. You
Okay.
know, I like to end whatever controversy or animosity they have towards me. I don't look at business wise now as yeah, they did shady business in the past, but in the end, it's up to me as the guy to actually accept the business.
Yeah.
To accept their their handout if they want to pay me or not. And 9 times out of 10, I've dealt with promoters that made me wrestle before they paid, and I dealt with promoters that paid me before shows. So
Yeah.
and so it's a 50-50 chance. So I just like to entertain the fans, and if I make money, I make money. If I don't, if I have a bad day, hey, listen, the fans are entertained. That's what that matters.
Yeah. So, being on the indie scene, like unlike your major promotions like WWE, AEW, TNA, like
Mhm.
indie wrestlers, they don't have like a safety net. If they get hurt at a show or whatever, like they have to cover their injuries out of their own pocket.
Right.
Have you seen a lot of injuries? Like not, or have you had any injuries yourself that you've had to come out of pocket for since getting into professional wrestling?
Uh, I've dealt with knee injuries, uh, recently shoulder injuries. Uh, I've not too much crazy stuff I've seen since being back in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've actually been very safe if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've tried to keep myself safe at all time. I try to keep my opponent safe at all time. So lately, I have not experienced bad injuries too much, or I have not seen opponents injured anybody. So far, so good. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. Knock on wood. So, what has been the most memorable match of your career so far, and why?
Hmm. I have three specific matches. I just off the top of the dome. The first one is me versus Vinny Pacifico in
I know.
Warriors of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We tore the house down. And I had mixed reactions, but you know what? I personally believe me and him tore the house down. For our first match together, I could say the same thing for me and KJ Evans at a FWF Unpredictable.
Right.
Uh, that kid's the future. That kid is pretty good. We had a really good match for us wrestling each other for the first time. Feel our process, and it worked out. It really worked out.
Yeah.
My la- my last match, me versus Tyree Taylor versus Casey Lennox from MLW.
Okay. So, just this is a question I didn't have planned, but I'm sure you've either been like I don't know if you ever worked a show for them, but if you haven't, would you ever want to work a show for like Creative Pro Wrestling that's ran by Brian Myers?
Hmm. If given the opportunity, I would love to.
Because I know that's right there. It's right there in the New Jersey area. Because I know he runs what at Long Island.
Hmm. I would love the opportunity to work for Brian Myers. Hell, I would even love to go to his wrestling school if I was a very rich man.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
if given the opportunity, I would take the chance, and to
Yeah.
pick the mind of Brian Myers would be a blessing.
Hmm. So, where do you see the last Saiyan Mike Harvey going in the next few years? Like, well, where do you see yourself? Like, do you see yourself maybe being signed by maybe a three-letter promotion, like maybe going to WWE Evolve, or maybe going to AEW, TNA, or as you were saying earlier, maybe New Japan, doing some stuff
Hmm.
for New Japan Strong.
Well, I've been trying to find my way to New Japan for years.
Okay,
If given the opportunity to go to New Japan, I would take that step and run with it. But here in the States, I feel like my best start would probably be TNA.
okay,
I think it's just the right fit for me, and I think could do something great with them. But
okay,
always, if given the opportunity,
yeah. So, do you ever see yourself playing the heel, or do you see yourself just always being a face?
Hmm. It's whatever. It's whatever management wants me to be.
I get that, but yeah, you personally, do you ever see yourself as a heel? Like, because yeah, like Goku is your whole thing
Hmm.
is like always the good guy, but Goku sometimes has had to tap into that part of him that it's like he doesn't care.
Hmm. I will tell you this. I could see myself as a heel,
Okay,
but I feel like that can be saved for the people out there because right now I am in the probably the best baby run face run right now, so I'm trying to keep that and not mess up anything.
yeah, I get
So,
that. So, where can people support the last name Mike Harvey? Like, where can they follow him, and where can they see him at some shows coming up in the near future?
what type of shows you see me in the near future? Hmm.
Like, where can they come see you at shows in the coming future? Like, what shows do you have coming up?
Huh. Well, right now FWF is working on a date, so we will be posting it very soon just to get it out there. We're looking at I believe March 29th. Could be wrong.
Okay,
Don't take me in that. But we will be posting our show soon, and we will be letting people know. So I will be in the Bronx. You will catch me out there.
okay. And where can people like support you at? Like, where can they go follow you at? On like, what social media platforms are you on, or where can they go buy? Like, if you have merch, where can they go buy merch at to support the last thing?
Okay. Well, you can support me at YouTube at Sun Harvey. Um, my Instagram is at Sun Harvey underscore Sama.
Okay,
I have a Pro Wrestling Tees website with all my shirts linked on there on my Instagram site and on my YouTube site. You can find everything there. I also have a website you can find me at. Everything is linked together. Just go on my Instagram and you'll find everything, or you could go on my YouTube and find everything from there.
okay. Oh, if you could give advice, you've been in the business what since 2019 officially. If someone were to get wanted to get into the business tomorrow, next week, next month, what advice would you give them starting out?
My advice for the new guys: mouth closed and always listen and see what goes on. That's all I can say. Keep your eyes open, your mouth shut, and listen closely. You'll learn a lot more than within that time frame. You will learn who you are and who others are.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm sure anyone that hears that will appreciate you saying that. And I want to say thank you for coming on the show this evening and giving me some of your time and just getting to hear a little bit about the last saying Mike Harvey and his origin story and just how you came to be and how your career has been and just where it came from. So I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. And remember, people, go catch the next FWF show. It will be uploaded very soon. Cold to War will be up very soon. You're looking at the winner, and I am going to FWF Spring Showdown, and I will be taking on Lee Jackson for the FWF World Heavyweight Championship. Stay
Well,
tuned for those details. My name is Mike
well,
Harvey, and I'm here for you.
well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever watched any episode of the Media Mania podcast, if you've watched the ending, you know how this is going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, as always, the Media Maverick, Mike Weldon. This has been my awesome guest for the night, the last Saiyan of professional wrestling, Mike Harvey. And make sure you catch this when it comes out. And we are out of here.